My sister used my house for her kid's party and caused $8,700 in damages. She laughed when I billed her, so I sued her. Now, with the video of her kids calling me the free maid and a USPS certified letter on the way, she is no longer laughing. Burnt meat, chlorine, spilled soda, and something electrical. I had just pulled into my driveway in Frisco, Texas, after a 12-hour Saturday shift at my hair salon, when I saw 3 heavy-duty black trash bags leaning against my garage door. One had burst open, spilling paper plates, crushed Capri Sun pouches, and blue buttercream frosting across the concrete. My front gate was hanging crooked off a hinge. Bass-heavy music was still playing somewhere behind the house, but it sounded distorted, like the speakers were underwater. For several seconds, I sat at the steering wheel without moving. Then I saw the balloons. Dozens of them were tied to my fence, my patio chairs, and even the Japanese maple I had planted the previous spring. A custom banner stretched across the back porch. "Happy birthday, Chloe and Jackson." Chloe and Jackson were my sister Sarah's kids, and I had not invited them to my house. I grabbed my purse, got out of my SUV, and walked through the damaged gate. My backyard looked like a Texas tornado had torn through it. One of my expensive outdoor Bose speakers was face down by the pool, dripping water. The second one was still mounted under the patio roof, blasting a kid's song at full volume. My Traeger grill was left open, with black smoke billowing from a tray of burnt burgers and hot dogs. Grease had spilled onto the stone below, leaving a dark stain on the pale flagstones. Pool floats, red Solo cups, torn wrapping paper, and half-eaten food covered the lawn. 2 patio chairs had been thrown into the shallow end. Someone had dragged my cream-colored outdoor sofa closer to the pool, and its cushions were completely soaked. My stomach tightened as I walked toward the house. The sliding glass door was wide open. Inside, muddy footprints covered the hardwood floors of the kitchen. The downstairs half-bathroom sink was clogged with cake frosting and paper towels. Someone had opened my pantry, emptied my snack cabinet, and left the stainless steel refrigerator door wide open. Then I heard laughter coming from the other side of the yard. Sarah was standing by the pool with her iPhone in one hand and a half-finished White Claw in the other. She was wearing a white sundress and oversized sunglasses, looking completely relaxed. Around her were 4 other suburban moms gathering tote bags and calling out to their kids. Sarah saw me and smiled. "Oh, you are home." I stared at her. "What happened here?" She pulled her sunglasses down a bit. "The party happened here." "What party?" She laughed as if I had asked the most stupid question imaginable. "The twins' birthday party. I told you I was planning something. You told me you were thinking about having a party. You never asked to use my house." Sarah waved her hand toward the yard. "Emma, please. You were at work all day? The place was empty." "It was not empty. It was my home." One of the moms looked at Sarah, muttered a quick goodbye, and hurried her kids toward the gate. The others followed. Within a minute, the backyard was almost silent. Sarah sighed. "Do not start." I pointed at the broken gate. "You broke in." "Of course not. Mom gave me the side gate keypad code." For a moment, I could not speak. I had given our mother the ADT security code 2 years ago for emergencies. She had promised never to share it. "You brought strangers into my home without permission." "They are not strangers. They are parents from the kids' elementary school." "They are strangers to me." Sarah rolled her eyes. "You have a pool, a grill, outdoor speakers, and this massive backyard. What was I supposed to do? Rent a depressing room at a local bowling alley?" "Yes." She stared at me. "What?" "You were supposed to rent a venue, use your own house, or ask me." "My yard in our subdivision is too small. That is not my problem." Her expression hardened. "You are being ridiculous. The kids had fun. That is not what matters." I looked around at the destruction. My speaker is in the pool. Jackson knocked it in by accident. My furniture is soaked. They are outdoor cushions. My grill is still on. I was going to turn it off. "You were leaving." Sarah placed her drink on the nearby patio table and crossed her arms. "Why do you always have to ruin everything?" I almost laughed. "I am ruining everything." "Yes. You walk in with that expression like someone committed a felony." "It was a birthday party, Emma. A family birthday party. In my house without my permission. You were not using it." That phrase hit me harder than all the physical damage around us. "You were not using it." As if my home were an object she could borrow whenever I was not physically occupying it. as if everything I worked for belonged to the family as long as they wanted it badly enough. Sarah grabbed her designer purse. They will come back tomorrow and help clean. No, you will clean it now. I am exhausted. I am too. You own a hair salon. You spent the day playing with makeup and hair, not digging ditches. I felt my jaw clench. Sarah had always spoken about my business that way. She called it playing with makeup, even though I had spent 12 years building it from a single rented booth to a highly successful salon in downtown Dallas with 8 employees. She loved the free keratin treatments, the discounted premium products, and the emergency appointments I squeezed her in for. But she never treated my work as a real job. I worked from 7 a.m. to 6 p.m., I said. I am not cleaning up a party I did not authorize. Her phone buzzed. She glanced at the screen and smiled. The kids are waiting in the SUV. I have to go. Sarah walked toward the gate. Send me pictures of anything that is actually broken and try not to be dramatic. Then she left. I stood in the center of the ruined backyard, listening to the damaged speaker whine. That was when my phone buzzed. My niece Chloe had tagged me in a TikTok video. I opened it. The recording had been filmed by my pool earlier that afternoon. Chloe, who had just turned 14, was filming herself and 3 friends while Jackson splashed into the water behind them. One girl asked, "Whose house is this?" Chloe smiled at the camera. "My Aunt Emma's. She is rich and never has kids, so we use her stuff." The girls laughed. Then Jackson yelled from the pool, "She will clean it up. She is basically our free maid." Chloe panned the camera across the patio, showing mashed food on the cushions and wet towels littering the ground. "Yeah, shout out to Aunt Emma. She loves cleaning up after us." More laughter. The video ended with one of the boys dumping a plastic bucket of pool water directly over my portable speaker while Jackson cheered. I watched it twice. By the 3rd time, my hands had stopped shaking. I saved the video, took screenshots, and uploaded everything to a private Google Drive folder. Then I began photographing the damage. Every chair, every stain, every broken hinge, every muddy footprint inside my house. I documented the clogged sink, the open refrigerator, the burnt grill, and the ruined speakers. I took a video of the pool filter, which was making a grinding noise I had never heard before. I did not clean a single thing until I had logged every detail. Around 9 p.m. that night, my mother called. "Sarah says you yelled at her in front of the kids." I did not yell. "Well, she is very upset. I came home to find 30 people trespassing on my property. They are your family. The parents from her kids' school are not my family." My mother sighed. "Emma, your sister does not have the kind of house you have. She wanted the kids to have a special birthday. Then she should have asked. She knew you would say no." "Exactly." Silence filled the line. Then my mother spoke in that slow, disappointed tone she had used on me since childhood. "You have always been so fiercely protective of your things. My things. You know what I mean." "Yes, I know. I believe you mean the assets I worked for. There is no need to sound hostile. You gave Sarah my security keypad code." Another silence. "It was just for one afternoon. You had no right. She is your sister. That code was for emergencies only. A birthday is important to a child. A birthday party is not an emergency." My mother's voice hardened. "You have that gorgeous house and you barely even use the backyard. Sarah has 2 children. Sometimes people with more should be willing to share." I looked out the window at the plastic trash floating in my pool. "I am changing the security code tonight, and you will not be getting the new one." I ended the call. The next morning, I hired a professional cleaning crew. I called a pool technician, a licensed electrician, a landscaping company, and the audio business that had installed my outdoor sound system. By Monday afternoon, the official estimates had started rolling in. Pool cleaning and pump repair, $2,180. Outdoor speaker replacement and wiring, $1,460. Gate and fence repair, $440. Professional interior and exterior deep cleaning, $1,125. Replacement for ruined sofa cushions and 2 damaged chairs, $1,530. Grill repair and stone stain treatment, $965. Landscaping and tree damage, $1,000. The total came to exactly $8,700. That did not include the hours I spent documenting the damage, rearranging salon appointments, meeting with technicians, or dealing with my homeowner's insurance company. I printed the estimates and placed them into a manila folder. On Tuesday evening, I drove to Sarah's house. She opened the door, wearing pajamas, even though it was barely 7 p.m. "What are you doing here?" "We need to talk." She glanced behind her. The television was blaring. Chloe and Jackson were on the couch eating Domino's pizza. Sarah stepped out onto the porch and pulled the front door shut. "If this is about the party, I already told you I would help clean. The cleaning is finished." "Great. Problem solved." I handed her the folder. "What is this?" "An invoice." She opened it and looked at the total. Then she laughed. Not a nervous laugh, a real, genuine laugh. "You cannot be serious. I am $8,700. That is the documented cost of the damage. They are just kids. Kids you brought onto my property without my permission. You are charging me because kids made a mess at a birthday party. I am charging you for a broken gate, ruined patio furniture, stained stone, a pool repair, destroyed Bose speakers, professional cleaning, and landscaping." Sarah flipped through the pages. "This is insane. You always buy the most expensive version of everything, and now you expect me to replace it. I expect you to pay for what was destroyed. I do not have $8,000. You should have thought about that before throwing a party at someone else's house." Her face shifted. The laughter completely vanished. "You know, this is exactly why nobody feels comfortable around you. I did not say anything. Do you think because you own a business and bought a big house you are better than everyone else? This has nothing to do with my business. It has everything to do with it. You have become obsessed with money. I am asking you to take responsibility. You are punishing my kids because you are jealous." "Jealous of what?" "That I have a family." The words landed exactly where she intended. Sarah knew I had ended an engagement 3 years earlier after discovering my fiancé, Tyler, had been stealing money from the salon. She knew I had struggled with the realization that I might never have children of my own. She had used that wound before, but never so bluntly. I took a steady breath. "This is your last chance to handle this privately." She ripped the invoice in half, then tore it again. The pieces fluttered onto the porch between us. "Done," she said. "Now it is resolved." I looked down at the shredded paper. Sarah smirked. "What are you going to do? Sue your own sister?" I looked back up at her. "I brought a copy for you." Her smirk faded slightly. I turned around and walked back to my SUV. The next morning, I called David Sterling, a commercial real estate attorney who had helped me negotiate the lease for my second salon location. I explained everything to him. He asked me to send him the estimates, the photographs, the Ring doorbell and security camera footage, the text messages, and Chloe's TikTok video. "Do you have cameras?" he asked. "Front driveway, side gate, backyard patio, and kitchen." "Did they record your sister's entry?" "Yes. She arrived with rented folding tables at 10:14 a.m. My mother gave her the code over the phone, and the party guests followed, all of them. Any footage of the damage actually occurring? The patio camera shows a kid pushing the speaker into the pool. It also shows Sarah watching him do it. David was quiet for a moment. "Emma, this is much stronger than a simple disagreement over cleaning costs. She knowingly entered your property without permission, brought guests, utilized your utilities, and caused thoroughly documented damage. The fact that she possessed a code does not automatically mean she had authorization to use it. I do not want her arrested. I am not recommending that as a first step. We will begin with a formal demand letter. And the video of the kids? We keep it as evidence. We do not publish it. We do not threaten to humiliate them. We use it strictly to establish prior knowledge, conduct, and liability. That distinction mattered to me. I was furious, but I did not want revenge against Chloe and Jackson. They had behaved terribly, but their entitlement came from somewhere. Children do not independently decide their aunt is a free maid. Someone had taught them that. David drafted the letter. It demanded payment of $8,700 within 15 days. It included copies of all the estimates, still images from the security footage, and a written notice legally requiring Sarah to preserve all photographs, videos, text messages, and social media posts related to the party. It also explicitly stated that if she refused to resolve the matter, we would seek full recovery through civil court and present the evidence to the appropriate homeowners insurance providers. The letter was sent via USPS certified mail. It arrived on Friday at 11:32 a.m. At 11:41 a.m., Sarah called me. I let it ring. At 11:43 a.m., she called back. Then again. By noon, I had 9 missed calls, 3 voicemails, and 17 text messages. "Call me right now," You involved a lawyer. Are you legally insane? Are you threatening my kids? Mom is having chest pains because of you. This is family business. At 12:18 p.m., my mother called the salon. My receptionist Ashley stepped into my office with a highly uncomfortable expression. Your mom says it is an absolute emergency. I took the call. How could you do this? My mother demanded. I have been working. You sent a legal threat to your sister. I sent a demand for reimbursement. She is terrified. She laughed in my face when I asked her privately. She thought I was joking. I handed her $8,700 in documented repair bills. She says your lawyer is threatening criminal charges. The letter says absolutely nothing about criminal charges. Well, it sounds like it. That is not my problem. My mother inhaled sharply. I do not even recognize you anymore. I looked through the glass wall of my office. Out on the floor, my staff was moving smoothly between clients. Blow dryers hummed. Someone was laughing near the reception desk. Every single styling chair was full. This business had started with one cheap mirror, a secondhand styling chair, and $600 I had saved from working 2 minimum wage jobs. I had slept in the back room more than once because I could not afford both rent and gas money. Sarah never asked how I survived those years. She only noticed what I possess now. You recognize me, I said. You just do not recognize what happens when I stop allowing you to ignore my boundaries. Your sister made a mistake. She planned a party, picked up supplies, invited guests, obtained my security code, trespassed into my home, used my property, left without cleaning, laughed at the physical damage, and tore up the bill. Which exact part was the mistake? She did not think you would react this way. That is because she did not think I would react at all. My mother lowered her voice. Are you really going to destroy this family over money? No. Sarah damaged my home. You helped her break in. And now both of you are upset because I am refusing to pay the financial consequences for it. I was just trying to help my grandchildren. You gave away unauthorized access to my house. I said I was sorry. You have not said that a single time. She fell silent. Then she finally said, I am sorry you are upset. That is not an apology. I ended the call. That evening, Sarah showed up at the salon 20 minutes before closing. She marched right past the reception desk, completely ignoring Ashley's request to wait, and shoved her way into my office. You need to call off your lawyer. 2 clients turned their heads to look through the glass. I stood up and closed the office door. You cannot come to my place of business and cause a scene. I am not causing a scene. You are. Lower your voice. You sent me a certified letter like I am a criminal. I asked you to pay me privately. You know I cannot afford this. You could afford custom Etsy decorations, rented tables, party favors, and catering for 30 people. That was for my kids. You also could have afforded a legitimate venue. A local venue with a pool costs almost $2,000. I stared at her. Finally, she heard herself. You used my house to save $2,000, I said. And you caused almost $9,000 in damages. It was not supposed to happen, but it did. Her voice completely cracked. What do you want from me, Emma? Do you want me to beg? I want you to accept responsibility. I told you I do not have the money. Then propose a payment plan. She looked genuinely offended. You want me to make monthly payments to my own sister? Yes. For how long? That depends on what you can afford to pay. She shook her head. No. Absolutely not. You are not going to hold this over my head for years. I am not holding anything over your head. I am demanding you pay a debt. You do not need the money. The phrase was so deeply familiar I almost smiled. Whenever Sarah wanted something from me, my financial stability suddenly became proof that I was obligated to provide it for her. Free blowouts, emergency babysitting, car loan payments, expensive Christmas gifts, a sudden deposit for Chloe's middle school field trip. I did not need the money, according to Sarah, because I had more than she did. But she never once asked what I had sacrificed to earn it. You are right, I said. I will not lose my house without that money. I can survive the repairs. That does not make the damage yours to ignore. Her eyes filled with tears. You have always resented me. I only resented being told that loving you meant accepting whatever you did to me. She grabbed the door handle. When Mom finds out you refuse to help me, she will never forgive you. Mom helped you illegally enter my house. Her opinion is not my priority right now. Sarah slammed the door so hard the glass partitions rattled. The following week, my extended family started reaching out. An aunt texted that I was traumatizing the kids. A cousin messaged me saying that successful people should not humiliate their relatives over a few broken items. My dad, who had remained entirely silent until then, sent a text. Your sister messed up, but bringing in lawyers is way too far. I responded with a photograph of the ruined Bose speaker floating in my pool and a screenshot of Chloe's TikTok video. He did not reply. Then Sarah made her biggest mistake. She posted a massive paragraph on Facebook claiming that her wealthy, childless sister was suing two innocent children for throwing a birthday party. She wrote that I cared more about patio furniture than family. She intentionally omitted that she had broken into my house without permission. She left out the broken gate, the ruined pool equipment, and the invoice she had ripped up. David advised me not to respond publicly. Instead, he forwarded the post directly to Sarah's lawyer, whom she had finally retained. 2 days later, the post completely vanished. Then, Chloe called me. I almost ignored the call, but a gut feeling made me answer. Aunt Emma. Her voice was incredibly small. Hi, Chloe. Mom says we are not allowed to talk to you. Then why are you calling? She sniffled. Because the video was my fault. The damage was not all your fault. I posted it. Yes, I thought it was funny. I know you did. There was a long pause. Mom always says you care more about your salon and your big house than you care about us. My chest tightened. Do you believe that? I do not know. I have attended every school play you invited me to. I paid for your summer art camp last year. I stayed at your house for 3 days when your mom had surgery. Does that sound like I do not care? No. Caring about you does not mean you get to break into my home, destroy my belongings, and insult me. I did not think you would ever see the video. That does not make what you said any less hurtful. I am sorry. This time, unlike my mother's fake apology, the words sounded real. Thank you for saying that. And Jackson is sorry too, but he is scared. He should tell me that himself when he is ready. Are you going to send Mom to jail? No. I am simply asking her to pay for the damages. She says we might lose our house. That is something you need to discuss with your parents. The adults are responsible for figuring this out. Chloe started to cry softly. For one terrible second, I wanted to take it all back. I wanted to tell her everything would be fine, pay the invoice myself, and fall right back into the familiar family role of fixing whatever Sarah broke. Then I remembered the video. She will clean it up. She is basically our free maid. I could love my niece without teaching her that tears instantly erase consequences. Your mother has had several chances to resolve this privately, I said gently. I truly hope she chooses to do so now. 3 days before the legal deadline, Sarah's lawyer proposed formal mediation. We met in a conference room at a downtown law office.
Hi.
Sarah arrived with her husband, Brian. He looked utterly exhausted and entirely avoided eye contact with me. My mother came as well. Even though she was not an official party to the dispute, David laid out the photographs, invoices, security footage, stills, and a typed timeline on the large table. Sarah's lawyer studied them in silence. Then David played the video footage from the patio. On the screen, Sarah was standing by the pool while Jackson and another boy carried my speaker toward the water. A kid yelled, "Throw it in!" Sarah looked directly at them. Instead of stopping them, she laughed and raised her iPhone to record it. The boys dropped the heavy speaker. Water splashed violently across the patio. In the conference room, Brian closed his eyes. I never saw that, he said. Sarah turned to him. It was total chaos. I could not control everyone. You were filming it? It happened so fast. The footage continued. Later in the video, Sarah dragged the soaking wet sofa cushions onto the grass, looked around nervously, and then placed them back on the furniture exactly as they were, actively hiding the damage. Then came the video of her forcing the front gate when it would not open all the way. Then, the kitchen camera showed her opening the sliding door and waving the guests inside. Brian stared at her. You told me Emma gave you permission. Sarah did not answer. You said she offered us the house for the day. I said she would not mind. You did not say she offered it. My mother leaned forward. Arguing over wording is not helping anyone. Brian looked at her. Did Emma give permission? My mother's mouth pressed into a thin line. She did not specifically tell me no, because I did not know the party existed, I said. The mediator asked Sarah if she contested the repair costs. Her lawyer cleared his throat. We have reviewed the estimates. They appear to be generally supported. Generally, David repeated. We also have proof of payment for every single completed repair. He slid the credit card receipts across the table. The total was still exactly $8,700. Sarah stared down at the documents. I can pay $2,000, she said. And the remaining balance? The mediator asked. I do not know, Brian spoke quietly. We can sell the second car. Sarah spun toward him. No, that SUV is in my name too. I need my car. You work from home 3 days a week. I am not selling my car just because Emma is being vindictive. Brian's expression shifted. For the first time, he looked directly across the table at me. I am sorry, he said. I believed her. I thought you had agreed to all of this. Sarah looked at him as if he had just betrayed her. Whose side are you on? I am on the side where we pay for the thousands of dollars in damage we caused. We are married, Sarah. Your terrible decisions affect me too. My mother started crying. This has gone way too far. Emma, please, just take the $2,000 and be done with this. I looked at her. Would you tell Sarah to accept $2,000 if I had caused almost $9,000 in damages to her home? That is completely different. Why? Because she has children. There it was. The ultimate explanation for every exception, every demand, and every boundary Sarah had ever been allowed to cross. She had kids, therefore her time mattered more, her money mattered more, and her home mattered more. Her mistakes were somehow more understandable. And because I did not have children, everything I owned was apparently just extra. My house, my income, my weekends, my labor, my dignity. I will accept a reasonable payment plan, but I will not erase the debt. Sarah pushed her leather chair back violently. Are you enjoying this? No. I am ending it. The settlement was finalized that afternoon. Sarah and Brian paid $2,700 immediately via wire transfer. The remaining $6,000 would be paid over 20 months. Sarah also legally agreed to delete all public statements about me, refrain from entering my property or my business, and communicate regarding the dispute exclusively through designated legal channels. If she missed 2 payments, the entire remaining balance would become due immediately. As part of the agreement, I agreed not to seek additional claims for my lost time or legal expenses beyond the negotiated amount. When Sarah signed the paperwork, she pressed the pen down so hard it tore through the thick paper. You will regret this, she whispered as she signed beneath her printed name. I did not say, I regret not doing it sooner. During the first few months, the payments arrived via bank transfer without a single message. My mother stopped calling me. My dad sent me a birthday card with absolutely nothing written inside except his signed name. Chloe sent me a handwritten apology via mail. She did not add a defensive sentence at the end. I am sorry we ruined your speaker. I know it was not funny. I kept the letter in my desk. I did not pretend everything was magically fixed. But I acknowledged the genuine apology. I also completely stopped offering free salon appointments to the family. When my mother's regular root touch-up appointment approached, my manager Ashley called her to confirm the new standard pricing. My mother canceled immediately. Sarah tried to book Chloe for free highlights using an online booking note that simply read, "Family appointment." Ashley forwarded it to me. I replied with the standard price list for the service. The appointment was canceled 10 minutes later. At first, enforcing these small boundaries made me feel cruel. Then I started to notice how much of my life had been spent actively preventing other adults from experiencing mild discomfort. Every single family emergency had somehow become my financial or logistical burden. Every shortfall, every forgotten birthday cake, every last-minute middle school payment, every demand for free premium hair products. I had confused being useful with being loved. Without those constant demands, my daily life became significantly quieter. I expanded the salon's bridal team and officially promoted Ashley to salon manager. For the first time in years, I stopped working every single Saturday. I replaced the damaged outdoor furniture, but I did not recreate the patio exactly as it had been. I chose darker, more durable cushions that could survive real life. I had a lockable cover installed over the pool controls and replaced the old wooden gate with a much stronger, reinforced iron one. Then I bought a long wooden outdoor dining table and invited my employees over for dinner. There were no elaborate Etsy decorations, no rented tables, and no kids screaming near the pool. Just 8 hardworking women who had helped me build something out of absolutely nothing, sitting under warm string lights while music played softly through my brand new speakers. Ashley raised her glass of wine to Emma. She said, "To the only boss I know who can fix a botched color correction, negotiate a commercial real estate lease, and terrify a State Farm insurance adjuster, all before her lunch break." Everyone laughed. I laughed too. Later that night, after everyone else had driven home, I stood by the pool and watched the reflection of the patio lights shimmering on the water. My phone buzzed in my pocket. It was an automated payment notification from Sarah. Payment 12 of 20. Beneath it was a brief text message. Chloe wants to invite you to her art show next month. She asked me to tell you. I read the text twice. For almost an entire year, Sarah had communicated strictly through automated bank transfers. I typed a response. Chloe can invite me herself. 5 minutes later, my niece sent me a text message. My art is going to be displayed at the community center on Saturday. I would really like you to come, but I completely understand if you do not want to. I went. Sarah and I did not hug. My mother did not walk over to me. But Chloe was standing proudly next to a painting of a woman standing behind a bright red door. The woman's hand was wrapped firmly around the brass doorknob, and golden sunlight was pouring through the windows behind her. What is it called? I asked. Chloe looked slightly nervous. Boundaries. I turned to look at her. She swallowed hard. Our art teacher said a boundary is not always a brick wall. Sometimes it is a door, because you hold the power to decide when it opens. For a moment I could not speak. Then I smiled. That is a really great title. Chloe glanced across the room at her mother, who was purposefully looking in the other direction. Mom still says you went way too far. I know she does, but Dad says she was wrong. What do you think? She studied her own painting. I think we thought your house belonged to us because you had more stuff than we did. That does not make you a bad person. No, I said softly. But it made you guys act badly. I nodded. That is a very important difference. When the final payment arrived 8 months later, Sarah did not include an apology, just a memo that read, "Paid in full. I hope you are satisfied." I did not reply. Satisfaction was not the right word. I had not enjoyed watching my sister struggle with the financial consequences of what she did. I had not enjoyed the cold silence of my parents or the long distance between me and my niece and nephew, but I had finally learned something that the fear of causing discomfort had hidden from me for years. The people who directly benefit from your complete lack of boundaries will always describe those boundaries as cruelty. They will call you incredibly selfish the moment you stop endlessly serving them. They will accuse you of caring too much about money when you simply ask them to pay for what they completely destroyed. They will say, "They are just kids," when what they really mean is that you should absorb all the consequences so they do not have to. Sarah had believed my house was totally free because I never charged her to use it. My mother had believed my time was free because I had always blindly made myself available to her. The kids had believed I was their free maid because all the adults around them treated my hard work as something they were inherently entitled to receive. The $8,700 fixed my property. The legal demand letter fixed something else entirely. It repaired the part of me that had spent years believing I somehow needed permission to say no. Sarah no longer possessed a security code to my house. My mother no longer had unlimited access to my daily schedule. My extended family no longer received free professional services simply because we shared DNA. The people who genuinely loved me without expecting payment, favors, or blind obedience still had a permanent place in my life. Everyone else had to knock.